series of webinars is the artificial intelligence, everything what is happening around this topic. And as you probably know, most of our technical competences, technical skills or work we are doing nowadays will be sustained by machines. So we need to find the place for humans, we need to find a place for ourselves. What we're gonna do in this new world, which is just starting. So emotional intelligence is one of the most important competencies, and the researchers say that for the next 2-3 years, the emotional intelligence will be the top third competence ranked on the list in different researches. And why is it so important? So actually, it's essential in our life. It helps us to build the relationships in our workplace, but of course in our private life with our partners, with our families, with friends. And the importance of the emotional intelligence is discovered and based on research is much more higher level than previously. And interestingly, emotional intelligence is kind of a new, young profession, if I can say that, and it was founded in 2002 by Professor Goldman. So we are focusing on learning and developing the skills around emotional intelligence that leaders will need today. Few words about the science of emotions. So the science of emotions is showing us that everything what we are doing is based on emotions. So there is a big link between the way we feel and the way we behave. And based on that, based on emotions, we make decisions, and emotions also influence our performance. So that's why this is very important to understand the way we feel. So if we look at our brain, we can say that all the pleasant, positive emotions tend to broaden and build the way we think and the way we behave, and again, the way that we perform at the end. On the other side, we have all unpleasant feelings, unpleasant emotions that actually narrow and limit our thoughts and behaviors. So let me show you some specific examples. When people feel uncertain, they tend to make some assumptions. And we don't have to look for any big examples, just look at COVID, what happened in the world. I remember the beginning of lockdown in March, when we were not certain what's going to happen, how long will take the lockdown. And I saw people doing shopping, buying everything what was possible, all the chemical stuff. Probably you have the similar joke in your country, but here in Poland we're laughing that there was no toilet paper in the shop because people thought they're gonna stay closed in their house for months. The same with some pills in pharmacy, amount of food. That's showing the impact on the uncertainty that people felt. So that's one example. The other one says that whenever we are stressed, we are very reactive. And again, COVID shows us that the length of the uncertainty and the stressful situation that we are staying now shows how much reactive are people. I can observe an amount of people behaving in a very aggressive way. They are so stressed that they just explode in very simple daily communications and events. and I'm sure that you have similar examples. And when we are worried, that cause the problems. When we're fearful, we are looking for guilty people, so we blame others. And another example of COVID, today we have a big problem with educational system, and I don't believe that this is only a problem in Poland. I think it's a global problem that children, high school students, they stay at home, they study online, and we worry about the exams at the university that they're gonna take. So we blame the government, we blame the educational system, we blame the healthy system of everything what is happening. So this is showing us what is happening with our emotions, with what the unpleasant emotions is causing to us. Conversely, when we feel convinced to any purpose, we can engage with one another. If we believe that something matters, we engage. And COVID showed us very nice. I remember the beginning of the pandemic period, when I think Italy was the first country when people organized the concert in their house, singing with neighbors on their balcony. Now we have a concert around the globe done virtually, just to bring people together, because we feel a common purpose and we want to stay engaged with others. The other pleasant emotions showing that when we feel valued, we care of others. When we are informed of what is happening, what is the situation, when we watch the daily news about the COVID situation, we are looking for the solutions, and we as a human are focused on the solution at that time. When we feel empowered, motivated, influenced positively by others, we can be innovative, we can be creative. So I hope that these short examples get the understanding, help you to understand of why emotional intelligence is so essential skills and the leadership skill set. So if you think about leadership, the goal of leadership is to get the best out of people. Knowing how people feel is fundamental to that task. So I like to do some quiz, some interaction with you, as I'm very emotionally connected with other people. So I'd like you to answer these two short questions that we will settle up a poll. So do you think that people typically experience more pleasant or unpleasant feelings? So just try to think about the last 24 hours and try to answer on this question. How many positive and how many negative feelings you think that people have during the last 24 hours? The first question is, what was the mix of pleasant, unpleasant feelings for you? So think about yourself. How did you feel for the last 24 hours? Were there balanced, the same number of the pleasant and unpleasant feelings? Or maybe you felt more pleasant feelings or more unpleasant feelings, so then you choose one of these answers. And the second question is asking what might be the mix of pleasant, unpleasant feelings be like amongst the people at your workplace at that moment. So now think about your colleagues, your peers that in your workplace. What do you think? What kind of feelings they had during the last 24 hours? And I believe you can see the question on the screen and you can answer them. So please do it, and we will see what is the majority feelings list in this room.
Good.
So we have most of the people answered. I cannot navigate to open that. I will look at mine. So the first question is about yourself. So 4 people say they are balanced, 7 feel more pleasant feelings, and thankfully only 2 people had more unpleasant feelings. The second question, when you are trying to assess others, you believe that 27% of people think that there was a balance of feelings that you can observe in your colleagues, more pleasant 18%, and unpleasant 5%. So it's not bad at all. So I'm very happy that we have the understanding of what kind of feelings you experienced lately and what you are bringing to the room. Thank you for taking these questions. And I'm gonna share back my screen. So what actually is emotional intelligence? As we said, that our emotions influence our decisions, decisions influence our behaviors, and at the end of the day, our emotions influence the performance. So the emotional intelligence is a set of skills that help you us act intelligently with our emotions, enhancing our decisions, behaviors, and performance. So just think like other people feel and try to shape the way you communicate and how you express the feelings. So I'm gonna use a model which was created by Genius International Organization, and they studied a lot of research that was conducted during the last 20 years, and based on that, they've created a model with competencies of emotional intelligence. And we're gonna talk about each competence one by one, and you can see 6 of them. Self-awareness, which is the capacity to understand our own emotions. Awareness of others is ability to being tuned and empathize with other people and understand their feelings. Authenticity is the capacity to effectively express how we feel. Emotional reasoning is the way you think about and the use of the information you have to make the decisions. Self-management is the capacity to regulate and manage our emotions. And the last one, inspiring performance, is about how we positively influence the way others feel. And this is a very short description now, but I want to part in here, and we're gonna have exercise in teams where you can have a longer discussion about each competence. Now, before I continue, I'd like to share with you, and I hope I can do with everybody, I'm not sure, Bartosz, can you share with others the definition of EA from the Word file, or should I do it?
Sure, I can try to do it. I will need to find this file. 1 second.
I think if it's possible to share with everybody in the chat, so everybody can download the definitions of all these 6 competencies. And while Bartosz is doing that, I'm gonna explain you our exercise. So first of all, you will be divided in 6 groups, where each group will discuss about one specific competence. So you can see on the screen now that group number 1 will talk about self-awareness, group 2, awareness of others, etc., etc. We will explain you that again. And what we're gonna do when you will be in your groups, we would like to understand the competence, the meaning of each specific competence, your understanding about this one, and the behaviors. And at the end of the exercise, we will have to see the presentation, the results of the group. So there is always difficulty to decide who will present, because I know everybody wants to present. So I propose that you choose a presenter, the person who actually has birthday, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, basically close to today's date, and that will be your presenter. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna discuss the competency and the behaviors that you are thinking that people demonstrate having these competencies. So if we talk about self-awareness, we would like to understand what for you means self-awareness and what kind of behaviors people are showing, expressing, that we know that they are self-aware of ourselves. The other thing is we would like to understand how this competence contributes to effective leadership. So think about self-awareness and the importance for a leader and how that contributes to be effective leader. And after the discussion of many different behaviors that you can observe from this competence, try to decide in your team about one specific behavior you believe is the most important for you to demonstrate in any specific situation on any current context you will be talking about. And when you will be back to the room after 20 minutes, we want to see the presentation from the speaker, from the spokesperson. So just explain us the understanding of competency that could be self-awareness, and the one most important behavior on this competence. So this is our exercise, and I hope it's clear. So group number 1 will talk. Oh, I need to go back slide by slide. So group number 1 will have self-awareness, and I think that we can divide people. So whenever you go to the groups, and I'm not sure, Bartosz, that we can see the numbers of group. People will know which group they are, or just we need to name you all and explain who is in which group.
I think that people are divided already into groups right now.
Great.
You should open the breakout session panel if you can do that. Right.
So first group, self-awareness. Group number 2, awareness of others. And group number 3, authenticity. And group number 4, emotional reasoning. Group number 5, self-management. And group number 6, inspiring performance. And the last question to Bartosz, and I'm very happy that you are here. Did you manage to share with people the definitions?
Yes, I did that. It's
right.
open in the tab of the Cisco WebEx window, so you can open it directly in a WebEx window, or downloaded it from here. So.
And just to clarify, we are sharing with you the definitions just to give you maybe a better view and understanding of each competence. But I really want to focus on the discussion and try to understand how you define any specific competence and what kind of behaviors can show that someone is having this competence. Okay, so can I see your hands up if everything is clear for you? I don't see anything in chat, so I do believe that the exercise is clear. Can we go to the groups?
1 second. I think I need to take over the control again.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, so this is the file.
So you can see the file right now, and I'm starting the breakout assignment.
So any tip, you can take a picture of the definition of the competence, or basically just remember which competence you're gonna discuss. I'm gonna join every room, and I will help you to the exercise. We have 20 minutes, so 11:50 we will bring you back to the main room, and I can see already we have people in sessions. So group number 1, which is self-awareness, Andrew, Biana, Blerta, Caroline. Group number 2, Daria, Dennis, Donat. You're gonna talk about awareness of others. Group number 3, Ekaterina, Eranda, Eva, Goran, you have authenticity. Group number 4, Inessa, Julia, Liana, we have the reasoning. And group number 5, we have Maria, Doisiu, Mark, and I believe that Bartosz will join this group too, that with the self-management. And the 6th group, Nicola, Shoira, Vasil, you have inspiring performance. So I think we are ready to go. Okay, so what happened? And now I think it's the moment to ask you, you can put in the chat, what happened? How do you feel now? What kind of emotions this exercise made you feel? As we have some problems with dividing you in the groups, so feel free to write all positive, all negative feelings, because this is how we are also learning and observe how small things can influence us. And whenever you will be writing in the chat and defining your experiences, I'd like to ask group number 1, who successfully accomplished the exercise and can share with us your understanding of self-awareness competence and behaviors that you noticed in your group. So who is sharing from the group number 1? Who was in the group 1? Please unmute yourself and can you summarize your discussion?
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi,
Yes, we can. Hi, Caroline.
Yes, so I was in group 1 with 2 colleagues here. I have been the spokesperson because it was my birthday yesterday.
Wow, happy birthday.
No, jokes aside, so yeah, after some connecting and understanding the exercise, I think there are 2 points I would like to bring back to the big group here. First of all, we discussed a little bit more what self-awareness indeed means for us, and it was the idea of looking inside you, right? To be mindful, to be connected with yourself, to be in the present moment, you know, with the mental and also the body. And we discussed that this is an information, all right, for you. First of all, I think first of all you need to take up this information for yourself, because it will indeed influence your behavior with others. And so it can be, you know, you can feel you have good emotions or bad emotions. Well, they are not good and bad. It's you are happy or you are sad or you are afraid, and this will affect your emotions, right? So it's important that you connect first of all with yourself, and then kind of control these emotions in your behavior. Okay.
Okay. Exactly. Anybody would like to add something from this group? Okay, so thank you very much, Caroline, for sharing.
Sorry, Agnieszka, for interrupting you. Just if you have problems with unmuting yourself, just please write in the chat. I can do this as well remotely. So if you want to say something and you've got problem with your microphone, with unmuting yourself, I can do that for you. Just let me know. Thank
you, Bartek. Okay, so let me summarize a little bit and give you an example of behaviors that we can observe, and based on them we can assess how high or low level of this competence we are having, or someone is having, if you want to observe other persons. So to be aware, to be self-aware, the behaviors we can observe, first of all, we can see that, understand the impact the behavior has on others. So we are able to define that whatever I'm doing, either positive or negative, that's gonna impact the others. And the other behavior, we are aware of our strengths and limitation or weaknesses or overdone strengths, depends on any other tool that you're gonna use to assess your strengths, but you are aware of your strengths and weaknesses. If we are a self-aware leader, we are open for any feedback on our leadership. And by staying open for feedback, it means that we are prepared for getting also the negative feedback, because let's say, it's supposed to be easy to say and to give positive feedback, but we are much more better in giving negative feedback, like, you did that wrong, that's your fault that we didn't finish this or this task. To be aware, a leader is to respond to the feedback effectively and with openness to improve or to do things differently. And you can read all the other behaviors, but I think that what is most important is the way how we read our emotions, how the emotions we are having in a specific moment are influencing others. If you look at the list of these different behaviors, just think internally, think about yourself. Which of these behaviors would you like to enhance? Would you like to improve? Which behaviors would you like to work on and develop them? So that's the first competence, self-awareness. Let's go to the next group who managed to discuss the awareness of others. And can you please unmute yourself, the person who will speak from group number 2? Who was in the group number 2? Hello? Anybody from group number 2? Dennis, yes, please. Can you unmute yourself, or Bartek, can you unmute her?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dennis. Great. Hello.
We were in the group with Daria and Donat, so we tried to find the way of unmuting ourselves for like 5 to 7 minutes, and finally we did. So we had a quite short discussion, almost no discussion at all. So just I expressed the opinion that awareness of others means that when we take a decision, we should look at the stakeholders of this decision. How would they, let's say, feel? What will be the, let's say, the decision? What will this decision do to them? Actually, this is the thing. So every day we take some decisions which actually affect another lives, people of the lives of another people. So that's why it's quite important to be aware what we do and what it will cost to other people, to our employees, or to subordinates, or to the higher levels of the management. So that's our idea. I don't know if it's true or not. It's my idea actually. So I would like to ask Daria and Donat to add to this.
Who would like to ask? Anybody would like to ask?
I see Donald is adding some comments in the chat box, but they are addressed only to me privately, so I'll just probably, Donald, if you don't mind, I will unmute you so you can share your some of the others.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you. Do you hear me? Okay. We had some technical problems. Also, we don't know what exactly was our task, but we think we have to give examples. And in order to speak about self-awareness, we think we have to choose to understand. In order to, in place to react, we choose to understand others. I have an example with employees when somebody was down with the numbers. We try to understand his situation. Is everything correctly? I think this is others.
Okay.
Okay, so Bartek, I don't know if you still see my thing, because there's something happening.
See your screen, and I can see that Daria also has to be unmuted, so I unmuted Daria as well.
Okay, so I think that we can mute other people. If you can see my screen.
Okay.
Yes? Okay, because I don't see it here anyway. So if we talk about awareness of others, one of the crucial skill that we need to talk about here is to be empathetic, to have empathy for others, because this is what is helping us to understand what people feel and understand their behaviors. And the behaviors that you can what you can observe and how you can assess that someone is aware of others, the behavior would be that they show really appreciation, that they do understand what other people feel and why they are doing something. You can put yourself in their shoes and try to assess why they behave in different ways. And I think we heard that also from this group. So if you look at the list of the different behaviors that are giving you idea of the level of awareness of others, trying to reflect on that and think how much you feel aware of others. Okay, so if we don't have any comments, let's go to the next group, and I think the group number 3 is supposed to talk about authenticity. You couldn't do that, so if we can ask people who are supposed to be in the group about your reflections on that, we will appreciate. So who's supposed to discuss the authenticity? Can you please unmute yourself and share? Okay, Eva wants to speak. Thank you, Eva.
Yes, I will. Okay. Now you're unmuted, Eva. We can hear you.
Yes. So hello everyone. Good morning. So we have really some technical issues. But when we are talking about being authentic, that's the first association or the first situation that comes to my mind is simply how to say, to admit your weaknesses, or to admit that you don't know something, or that you're weak in something. Just whenever a leader does it, to me it sounds that they are really authentic, and they are, they are not superheroes, but they are real people, and it just makes me feel much more convenient with them. So that's pretty much the first reflection on this.
Thank you so much, Eva. I saw the chat in the meantime that you didn't see my slide. Let me know if you can see it now. Can you please confirm? Yes.
You can see it now, yeah.
Okay, I don't know, something paused the presentation. Definitely, it's not the best day for technical stuff, but it's good maybe because that shows us how that influences our emotions. Like, I'm stressed now, and I don't like that the technology is disturbing me, right? And I believe that Bartek has similar feelings. So guys, please empathize with us. So to be authentic leaders, my favorite expression just to define that is the lead the talk. Yes, whenever we talk about the leader who's authentic, who is able to talk about the emotions that is expressing, and I think that when we talk about leadership, the leadership that I was observing from my bosses like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, was based on rational leadership. There was no space for emotions. Everybody talked about not expressing actually the emotions, because the workplace is a workplace, and we don't have to show people that we have problems outside of our work. So today we are talking about emotionally intelligent leader who needs to express your emotion, need to find a way to show the emotion to be authentic. So if I go for a meeting with my team and I just had a bad day and bad experience, anything happened 5 minutes before I entered to the room, I'm not hiding that. I'm openly sharing with them my feelings and saying what happened with me. And that normally should be appreciated by others because we are human. And if we talk about authenticity nowadays, when we are all stressed because of the situation we are experiencing with COVID, I think that's the one of the most important, if not the most important, competence we need to have. So, if you can read internally the behaviors that you can see on the slide and reflect on yourself, how much of these behaviors you are sharing with others, or which behaviors maybe you would like to enhance, you can make a note for yourself, because I think that it's important that you understand that this is for you individually to work over these 6 competencies. So I will go to the next.
Before you jump to the next slide, there's one request from Dennis from the second group, just to briefly go back to the slide for the second group, just to.
Okay.
Because it was not visible.
You want me to take it back?
Take it back just to the slide for the second group.
Awareness of others. Can you see it?
1 second. Yes. No, we still see empathic leaders.
Yes. So this is awareness of others. That is second competency.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay. Then we have third competency, authenticity, and we jump to the fourth competency, emotional reasoning. And I think that there is a group who could discuss it, right? Am I correct?
I guess so.
Anybody from group number 4? I cannot see the list of the groups. Lulia, raise a hand. Yes, please take the floor.
1 second. I believe I also need to unmute.
Unmute, yes.
Who was that? I don't see the raised hand. Julia, yes. Okay, we got you. Okay.
Hello?
Hello, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, hello everyone. I am not actually the speaker for our group. Liana is the designated speaker. If you can unmute her.
Oh.
And Inessa is also in my group.
Okay.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry, I was having trouble to unmute myself. That's why I was writing in the chat.
For sure, because definitely I think there is a problem to unmute.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Liana and I've been working on this fourth competency, emotional reasoning, with my colleagues, Inessa and Ilya. And what we have come up is just the definition and our understanding that emotional reasoning is, is about using the information in feelings when, and when decision making, and which is to consider feelings while combining it with facts and technical information. We had certain points written down that I would like to share, that emotional reasoning for us is to take account not only the logic, but also the feelings, the parties involved, making it more personal. That it is very important for organizations because it creates well-organized work environment, and also it ensures team's commitment. We also believe it helps better manage conflicts and resistance. And also it would give a competitive advantage to organizations where the leadership considers the emotional reasoning. This is general, what we have discussed.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. And I think that Eva wants to comment also.
Because actually, this emotional reasoning, that's one of my favorite competencies. I mean, in terms of when I discovered how important it is, because anytime when I work in a team and my team member is afraid of something or reluctant to do something, or especially with those negative emotions, when they are angry with something, when I dig into the reasons for this, it discovers the whole new world, meaning those people might have certain facts that are unknown to me and they help me make better decisions, but also it's also about the skills, and it allows, as a leader, it allows me to better assign tasks to people. There are really, in general, I want to say that if we are looking at those negative emotions and we try to understand what's behind them, it can provide us a lot of information, both for decision making, because maybe there is a better solution that we discussed, or to understand your team members, to be able to better assign tasks, to better use their competencies, right, or talents, or what they are simply good in. So that's these are the main points, and I think a lot of people are they do analysis deep inside, and they analyze situation, environment on subconscious level, and those analyses, the first output is in the form of emotions. So when we really dig into those emotions, we can get into really real facts and strong arguments, but we need to help our team members to really bring it from subconscious level to this conscious level. Thank you. Dot.
.com. Thank you so much, Eva. That was very important voice, and the only summary I can do it is just to remember, include everybody in taking the decision. If you are familiar with agile approach, working in agile environment, we are talking about self-organizing, self-managing teams that decide on the way how they're gonna work, and they make the decision together. So this is the competency that is very strong in terms of collaborating with other people. And I think to have this awareness, like Eva shared with us, that shows a high level of this competence. So think about the behaviors that you can see on the list. Of course, there are some examples collected together to show you what actually we are understanding and how we perceive the behavior from this competence. And think about yourself, and if you are keeping noting your scores, you can take the notes and reflect on that. Okay, thank you so much. And the next one is self-management. Do we have anybody who had a chance to work in a group, or if not, who would like to share your reflection on that. What for you means self-management, and what kind of behaviors you can assign to this competency? Who would like to take the voice? We will unmute you. And Mark, please, Mark, and if you also turn on camera so we can see you, that I don't see many people with cameras. Okay, Bartosz, can you unmute Mark? Yes, now yes.
Yes, yeah, so I was with Maria, and we were looking at the self-management. Just found that the self-management, you needed to incorporate many of the other elements to be good for self-management. Positive signs we saw would be empathy, awareness, having foresight or conceptualization for long-term planning, stewardship, so you're going to be able to work with people, and it helps you to manage yourself as well. Looking at being self-confident, realistic in your own self-assessment, having trustworthiness, and then we just said some of the negative points about it would be the not understanding the people that you work with, and by understanding the people that you work with, you're better able to direct them and have a better emotional connection with them, so you're able to get more from your learner or your colleagues. I don't know if Maria wanted to add anything else. Yes, so did we kind of understand this? Did we get?
Yes, very well, and thank you for that. You can see the examples of different behaviors, but what I'd like to add to that we need to be aware how we act in the situation when we are in the comfort zone, when everything goes smoothly and positively, and what is changing when we are in the conflict situation, right? When there is a lot of negative emotions coming up, how we can manage them and control ourselves. And I think that Maria, yes, wanted to share something?
So around self-regulation as well, yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark, as well. So we were discussing about how, in general, the culture of the organization and the culture of the country influence the characteristics of the leadership in any organization, and we were going back to the organization we are discussing with, not the general one, but the microfinance organization, and the role of the board versus as a leader, the leadership role of the board of the microfinance institutions, and the role of the leadership of the management of a microfinance institution, and how the difference between the two types of leadership can influence the performance of the organization. And I think important is especially for the leadership role of the board of the microfinance institutions, is a deep knowledge and understanding of the mission and of the vision they were supposed to implement. So that's and how much this mission and how much the vision is actually adopted and internalized by the whole team. And I think the characteristics, the good characteristics of self-managed leadership is mainly to be able to transfer the vision, to visualize the stage
where the organization should be in a longer period of time. You know, a long-term vision should be transferred and to the team they are leading, and that will somehow support and improve the relationship between the leaders, the board, and the entire organization team, you know, the executive team. So that's what we discussed.
Great, and I heard some of this discussion and I like that very much. So thank you for bringing the culture aspect to the room, because I think the culture, by meaning different countries and different way we behave because of this, but there is another aspect. There is a culture organization, and I will not go into details today about that. That is our next workshop will be on that. But that's a very important aspect of each culture to having in mind. And I can add also to that there are the age differences. We need to work today in a different environment where we have generation X, Y, Z, younger ones, oldest people, and how can we manage ourselves with our emotions, with our behaviors, and remember that each generation can expect a different and different behavior. Anybody would like to add something? Any experience in terms of working with different generations? How can you reflect on the self-management competence in this case? That's an extra question. Who would like to share your reflection? Are you still there with me? I don't see anybody. I don't hear anybody. Okay, no comment. So let's go to the next competence. Eva would like to say something. Please, Eva. Bartek, can you unmute Eva? I think that Bartosz is very busy today. There is a lot of technical need of Bartek here.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. We can hear you.
I can even see you.
Okay. So actually, so far I found this new generation quite challenging, to be very honest. Like, there is a different, I mean, I'm just sharing my frustration a bit, because it feels to me there is a different work culture and attitude than in the generation of 40s or 50s plus people. So I can definitely see people of this age, like 25 plus, they have, I mean, so far my experience is that it's really difficult for me to work with them, to make them deliver and to somehow to manage them. So I don't really have solutions here, but I just want to highlight how, for me at least, it's challenging really to work with this new generation, because they are quite demanding, very somehow I feel that they don't have the same work ethic as we do, but maybe that's only my experience. I don't know how about others, but that would be interesting to understand how other people work with those very young people.
Thank you, Eva, for sharing. Anybody would like to give an answer to Eva? Anyway, when we're gonna talk about the organization culture now, we try to bring you some examples also how we can manage the age differences, how we can communicate with them differently, because this is actually what they are expecting, that we're gonna use the language that they are using. We all want to talk to other people that we can understand each other. And there is not only the way we talk and what we say and how we express our emotions, but also how we implement the technical tools, how we use digitalization, so we can that we can include. So I'm looking to the comment in the chat, and I think that Julia wanted to write to everybody. I see it privately, so I read. Maybe the younger demographic in the group could expand to some ideas on this age difference. Do we have some people who are younger than me? I don't see your faces. You have the camera turned off, but we would love to hear from you also. And also Andrew wrote, I tend to agree, Gen Z wants it all and wants it now, but with proper treatment, it's possible to switch their issue into opportunities. They believe in themselves. Yes, I think it's a huge topic, and we can talk today historically about that, but there is no space for that. I think that we can keep the comments here. And I will talk about that next week with you when we're gonna look more in details about the culture, multi-generational cultures, and how we can work with them. But in terms of developing our emotional competences, our emotional skills, I would like to bring you back to our last competence, which is inspiring performance. How we can inspire other people so they can perform on the highest level. And anybody had a reflection on that? I think that we couldn't make the group for discussion this competence, but I do believe that you can share with us your experience, and by looking at the list of the behaviors, you can take a voice. So please, don't be shy, share with us, unmute yourself, and what is your understanding of this competence, and what kind of behaviors would like to develop, enhance in yourself or see in others? Who is the volunteer? Who has the birthday next week? Hello. So how do you inspire your teams? How do you inspire your people so you help them to achieve great results? Give us your examples. Maria, please. And Bartek, can you unmute Maria?
I find it really difficult, especially now when we are relying with those platforms or on telephones, because we cannot meet each other, and it's really difficult to see the feedback, the emotion on their face, and sometimes they are reluctant in expressing, or they are too keen to express themselves using these online platforms or on Skype. But I'm in the early 60s, so you can imagine there is a gap difference, even if we trust the age gap, yeah. And all the difficulties I was facing when I was in my 30s with my bosses, you know, the leaders, which were in 16. I am facing right now with people which don't have the same age gap difference. What I am doing is that's based on how aware are they about the details of the job they have to do, and how well they know to do it. It means the qualifications, the experience they have in doing that particular job. I'm using the laissez-faire leadership style. You cannot you cannot put them in the box and saying you have to do that and that and that and answer to that and that and that. What I am doing is let them contribute, to let them brainstorm ideas, to let them act and participate and contribute. Just one thing is that to give them deadlines, give them the frame and give them deadlines, and use a laissez-faire management style with them if they are qualified and experienced enough to perform properly. That's a way to motivate them. At least in my case, it was hard because I was not. This is not my preferred leadership style, but it proves to be to work with them. And what I mentioned and what I want to share with you is that the gap age is shrinking. So I was not able to properly communicate with leaders which were 30 years older than me. Right now, with 10 years younger than me, is difficult to communicate. Because the changes in the behavior of the young generation, as Eva was mentioning, those generations, the gap it's shrinking. You know, we are talking about 10 years difference, different styles, total different styles, total different way to behave and to react. So that's in my experience. That's how I did it.
Thank you so much, Maria, and thank you so much for sharing. And the only thing I want to add to that is whenever we talk that include them, ask them, let them brainstorm on that, and that's the way how we get their commitment, right? So whenever they are included in what we are doing and in the decision-making process, they are more committed to deliver. And by giving them the deadline, as Maria said, that's a great idea to accomplish the commitment. So thank you again. And I think Eva wanted to add something. And I think Eva deserves extra chocolate for her volunteering today. So Eva, can you unmute yourself? Very good, because you missed the first session. So.
Right. One comment and action to you and maybe to everyone as well. So the comment is that in inspiring others people in performance, I think the leader really needs to accept good enough solution, not the best one or not the ideal one, but good enough. You know, when you sometimes when you give people responsibility for delivery of certain tasks, and you don't walk them by their hands, you just allow them to experiment and to seek their own way to deliver. Then you simply need to accept good enough solution. Maybe you would do it better and faster and you know, more, but simply that's the point, that if you want to develop people, you need to accept good enough solution. That's what I discovered. When I discovered it, it made me much less frustrated. And the question is, when I think about online communication and giving people, like encouraging people, so you know, you use all those emoticons, you know, those faces, you know, like yay, like all those visual things. But I'm just wondering, you know, when you think about CEO or a top manager communicating like this in an email or in a chat with their staff, I'm just wondering how does it work really? And it's, Agnieszka, the question to you in your experience and also to others, like how informal you can get in this online communication, which can be helpful in encouraging people. But yeah, like what's the, for senior positions, how far you can go with informality?
Thank you, Eva, for the question. It's a really great one. I had just a discussion lately about this all MMOTs, and actually it depends on the leader. And I think that again, we need to be aware of their style, and I think that based on an experience, I know with who I can communicate this way. I give you an example. I work with international team where our leader is quite new person, and based on the previous experience with previous leader who had totally different leadership styles, we've learned that we need to be very serious, that we need to be very procedures, processes oriented, and serious people. I think it's a good expression. So we couldn't use this kind of soft, I would say, communications tools, because we knew, based on the years of working with him, that he will not like that he will not share with us this way of communication style. But for the last year, we have another leader who is totally different person, who is open for people, who feels emotions, who is aware of emotion of himself and his emotions, who has, I can assess that he has quite high level of emotional intelligence index if we would evaluate him. So he's the first one using memos. He created a communication channel in WhatsApp, and he's the first to put smiles, fingers up, you know. So I think that's our role as the leader, to show our style to others, to be authentic, to share with them our feelings, as we just covered the 6 competencies. So I think that one of the first things we can do here today, you individually, just think again about these 6 competencies. And if you would have a scale between 1 and 10, try to assess how high is your level of each competence that we are discussing about, and what you can do to enhance each of them, to feel more comfortable, to be more emotional intelligence leader. And of course, you can take the assessment, the full version from Genius, and assess yourself. You can assess other people. You can make 360 evaluations, so you can see what is the picture of your team, of your organization. But first of all, we need to start with ourselves. So to summarize and to leave you with some inspirations, with some ideas, and I want to open the floor for maybe short discussion. I just read an amazing book, Living with Feelings, which is talking about emotional leadership, emotional intelligence leadership. And there are some researchers, based on them, they created 9 strategies of emotional intelligence leaders. So I could say that these are kind of tips that I can share with you based on these researches from the book that you can reflect on and maybe try to use on a daily work. So first of all, the first strategy says that we should monitor the emotional climate. So whenever I start a meeting, a training, presentation at an event, I ask people how do they feel. Like today we discussed the feelings. What were your feelings during the last 24 hours? So this is, I think, simple technique that any of us can use. Just ask people about the feelings they have, the emotions that they bring into the room, the energy that will be created based on the emotions. I think it's a simple technique, but really powerful. The second one says express your feelings to motivate others. I already mentioned about that when we talk about authenticity. Don't hide the bad feelings, because from my experience and from experience I observe from other people, from other leaders, if you try to hide any negative feelings or maybe too enthusiastic feelings, that will come out anyway at any moment. So be authentic. The third one, consider how your own behavior influences others' emotions. So this is connected with the competency about self-awareness, but also awareness of others. And I want to talk about what few of you already mentioned, how we manage this all virtual meeting that we are talking. How can I see your emotions if I cannot read your body language? At that moment, I don't see any face in front of me. I see my slide and I'm talking to the computer, and this is for me very stressful, and I don't like this feeling. And I can share with you that last week, after 9 months, I was present at the conference physically, and I was speaking, and there was no audience in the room. They told me that there are 200 people in front of their individual computers, but in the room I had only 5 technical guys who were navigating the monitors, cameras, and I felt so bad. And I was fighting with my feelings, with my emotions, not to affect the others. I wanted to be professional. I wanted to do my job, but inside I felt very bad. So I shared that emotion with the audience, and I told them, I feel awfully doing this without seeing you. How can I read your faces, your emotions? How can I interact with you if I don't see you physically? So this is the new reality, and I encourage you to motivate your colleagues, your peers, whenever you meet virtually, to turn on camera, to be present, to show up, to talk about simple things. Whenever you start the discussion, conversation, ask about the emotions, ask about what happened lately. Don't jump directly to the topic that is in your agenda. They are really small things. The other strategy suggested from the research, put yourself in others' shoes, so just simply empathize, empathize, empathize. Try to understand the other people. And of course, it's very difficult if you have a group of 10 people, each person is coming from different generation, and you need to think about, oh my God, how should I communicate to this group of people so everybody will understand what I want to share with them? How can I be direct to individuals? How can I do it? I think it's much more difficult now to be a leader than it used to be years ago. The next strategy is decipher the underlying emotional dynamics of a situation. Well, again, we need to be good observators, and as a trainer, I was taught years ago how to follow the group flow, how to understand what is happening, and for that I had the body language understanding. I had the possibility to see others. How can I implement that? We need to find other ways. Emotics, sorry, I don't know, some applications that you can you can use could be useful here. And I think that what you can do, just ask the young generations what they would like to use and just learn to use it. Yesterday I talked with a coach, with my colleague, and she said, can you work a little bit with teenagers like 15, 16 years old, because they have so many problems with communication. They suffer a lot these days by studying virtually. And I said, okay, I can try, but I need to find a language to talk to them. And she told me, you need to have TikTok and Instagram, and I don't remember the other tools. She said, you need to know that, because this is the way they communicate. So what we can do, maybe I need to be the first one to learn their language, their tools, and try to use them. So my plan is to talk with my cousin. She's 15, and I'm gonna learn to use TikTok because I am on Instagram. Okay, coming back to the strategy that we can implement. Reframe how you think about the situation. Yeah, so this is basically taking into account the different perspectives. Remember that what you see through your eyes, it doesn't have to be the same picture that other people will see. So maybe try to confirm with your teams if you have all the same perception, the same understanding on the situation, and take into account the differences and different perspectives whenever you need to take a decision. The other strategies recommended are create optimal interpersonal boundaries, seek out others for help in managing emotions. So we can ask for mentor, coach, someone who can help us to understand our emotions and navigate them, and help others develop the emotional intelligence abilities. So again, someone who will help you to grow and develop these skills. So by saying that, and by giving you some examples, I need to really hear, or at least see in the chat, any comments at the end of our session as we are finishing this time. Can you write in the box chat maybe one thing that you learned today, or is there something new for you, any awareness, any interesting tip that you are taking with you? Just please use the chat to write 1-2 words. What are you taking with you from the perspective of learning something new, maybe developing and empowering the competencies, the skills you already have? Or maybe you would like to share with anybody in this group your coach mentor experiences and share with others. So basically, I'm asking you kindly for your emotions, for your experiences that you are taking with you after this workshop. And try to write publicly, because I'm getting some private messages. So if you can write to all participants, so we can see any interesting, maybe inspiring comments. Are you still there?
I see the comments in the chat box that attendees cannot write to all participants, only to host or panelists. So yes, you just need to.
I will read. So don't worry. I didn't know that this is the case.
I've got a comment from Maria directed to me. The 9 strategies of EI leaders are inspiring, and I'm taking them.
Thank you. Any other comments? Great genius model, much familiar, still lots to enhance. Thank you, Lev. Yes, thank you for saying that, and Maria, because this is just introduction to the model, what you can get. Actually, I plan to do another exercise and develop the self-awareness competence. But because of the technical problems, we couldn't make that. But I think the discussions were very valuable. So the next workshop that will be 10th December, and I encourage you to participate if you are able. We will focus on the organizational culture around emotional intelligence, and we will address the topic about the different generations. I will share the presentation with Bartek, and I believe that Bartek will send the presentation to all of you who are participating in the webinar. So no worries. Learn what they need and use it. The material was very interesting for me, but to be honest, we had too many problems with internet, so I have to explore more. But points was very useful. Listening, empathy, very important. Emotionally connect with people. If you have material, servant leadership still has a lot of these traits. Yes, and servant leadership, I think, has a very good moment today. Whenever I used to talk about servant leadership, I heard many times, Mark, that our organization, our culture will not support this servant approach. But nowadays, even if people don't call it, they really use the servant leadership because people need that. Okay, so I don't know if Bartek, you have something more to add? Yes?
Just one thing that I just shared a link to our evaluation survey in the chat box. So just after the meeting, just please complete our survey. It will send you to the Google Forms form, and just a regular EaSI evaluation form for an EaSI event.
Okay, thank you so much again for participation, and I wish you a very nice day and coming weekend, and I hope to see you next week, and probably, Bartek, we will come back to the previous platform. Maybe it will be easier to connect with camera.
Yes, that's true. Thank you very much, Agnieszka. Thank you all for attending the meeting. Sorry once again for all the technical problems. We will try to fix that up by next week, and we will hopefully we will meet in a better technical environment next week. But once again, thank you very much. Please complete the evaluation form, and see you at the next EaSI meeting organized by Microfinance Center.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone.